I mean, it's Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points. I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning or Tuesday night if you're hanging out with us. Yeah, it's a fun night of basketball. I personally went 2-2, so just lost so Vig. I know Toast had a good one. I saw your screenshot there, 8-4. Had a good night. That end, the Purdue UCLA game that just ended, man, that was cool. So I didn't have a bet on the game or anything, but someone said the broadcaster was like, you know, Donovan Dent is getting up for this matchup against Braden Smith. And I didn't even really think about it. But like after he said that, I was watching. And shout out to Donovan Dent. He actually didn't make the shot to take the lead, but he had a big shot to bring it back within 3 points. And Braden Smith had a turnover. Not that Braden Smith lost the game or anything, but when it came down to it, Donovan Dent made the play and Braden Smith didn't. So that's a cool win for UCLA. I know. I think you and Spoon both liked UCLA on the show last night.
Yeah, I had UCLA plus 6.5.
I think Spoon picked UCLA, if I remember correctly. You picked UCLA, Spoon?
I did. I was so close to hitting the money line on them too. We talked about it. You guys were giving me a hard time saying you can't bring in tough game comparisons for the same coach and Matt Painter from the last 8 seasons where he dropped 4 games to bottom 10 conference teams in the biggest spots of his life. So I don't know, just anytime it comes to like a road spot for Matt Painter and we're getting multiple possessions, I feel like we have to take it. It was a misplay to not play the money line. I feel like I left money on the table.
Yo, you people in the Midwest, with the hate of Matt Painter is just wild. Just wild.
He just dominates their conference every year.
Just wild.
Toast, I walked by FDU's team. You could have played basketball on that team right now.
I understand that, but he's been at Purdue since 2006. I mean, there's been 3 or 4 years.
The team, dude, take apart the Big Ten. That's not a conversation. The Big Ten's a weak basketball conference.
Oh, come on.
Wow. Okay,
that's kind of cold. But yeah,
I've been.
My point to that is that he's been in the tournament essentially every year. So Sweet 16s. I mean, yes, he hasn't had a lot of success. Sweet 16s, a couple, maybe one Final Four, I think it was, or whatever. But yeah,
the fun night of basketball for everybody except the Philadelphia 76ers. But I guess I'll talk about the NBA later on. So yeah, it's just us 3. Georgetown Villanova is where we're starting out. So who clicked this one? It looks like Toast clicked this one. 9.5.
Yeah, this one was kind of hard for me. I wish I would have gotten into Georgetown. I think a little bit earlier it was like double digits, and that's kind of where I wanted to be in this one. You can put Georgetown up for me. I'm not going to actually bet it, but I do think that they've played a pretty decent schedule. I mean, I know that they're 1-6 in conference right now, so that doesn't look good, but they have played some pretty decent competition. Not that Villanova hasn't. That's not the case that I'm trying to make at all. Villanova has a fantastic schedule. I just think that the pace in this game is going to be significant here. I think we're going to be pushing maybe 60 possessions at most. I think that Villanova is able to suffocate Georgetown. But now that Georgetown is getting a little bit healthier, I do think that they can keep it in within 3 or 4 possessions, depending on what this number gets to. But I just don't really feel – I know that people are going to want to lay it with Villanova off of a loss, but they didn't really look good against Creighton off of a loss. So I don't know. The jury's still out for me in this Villanova team personally. So I'm just not really looking to lay multiple possessions with them. So it would only be Georgetown. But again, I'm not betting.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet that. Georgetown's terrible. And Jen says, I don't think Spoon is a fair representation of the Midwest. He doesn't speak for all of us.
I'm not. So I grew up in New England, so I'm not a Midwesterner.
Yeah, you're an outsider over there. I'm putting Villanova up because Georgetown's terrible. They're 4-13 against the spread, if my graphic's correct. Yeah, no. Villanova or pass. Spoon?
Yeah, this is Villanova for me. We had the get-up spot with Georgetown this weekend. Now I feel like they're a bit overvalued. That team should have lost that game by 20 points. They played with a ton of heart the second half, made all sorts of things happen that shouldn't have. That's not going to happen in this Villanova game. I think Willard's pretty disappointed with the performance in that last showing versus St. John's. That was a big game for him, and now he takes it out versus Georgetown. A nice home game in his actual home building. This is Villanova pass, but I actually passed on this game, not bringing my money to the ticket window.
Yeah, me neither. Let's get on to the
So
next.
are you a Patriots fan?
No.
He's a Bears fan.
No.
You're not a
No.
Bears fan?
I grew up a New York Giants fan.
Oh,
My
no.
dad was like, you can pick any team as long as it's not the Patriots. And then I was like, I think I like Chad Pennington. He's like, you're just going to be a Giants fan.
Yeah, no, you're not gonna rock with the Jets. It's good parenting. Maryland, Illinois. Toast actually clicked this game too. This game was selected.
I did. Okay. I understand that Maryland's bad, but at the same time, you have an Illinois team that's as far as their market value is concerned, as high as it can be, starting 6-1 in conference. They haven't lost a game since early December, and the loss was to Nebraska at home, but they also lost to Alabama and UConn. Again, it's really hard to say anything bad about this Illinois team, but I do, and there is a big but behind this. They just lost Boswell, who's their senior point guard, which I think is one of the guys that is like the straw that stirs the drink to get everybody else going. I know they have a lot of the guys from Serbia or wherever the hell they're from. That's really impressive, and they're really good. But Boswell's the senior, the guard that usually handles the ball, the guy that I trust to get the ball in the right places. So losing him, I think, is really big. On top of that, they do have Purdue on deck. Purdue's just off of a loss as well. So maybe this is a little bit of a get in and get out healthy type of thing. But I just feel like this is way too many points. If you're going to give me I get that Maryland's bad. I'm not trying to make any case that Maryland's a good basketball team, but 20 points is a lot when you just lose your senior point guard and you have Purdue on deck. I know that Maryland has Michigan State on deck. Maryland sucks. They're trying to get up. They're just trying to stay close in basketball games, but I think they can keep it within 20 here.
And Jen agrees. She said the same thing. She commented about a minute ago. Too many points here. Illinois is trying to figure out rotations without Boswell for a month.
Yeah.
Also, Maryland has been Illinois' kryptonite for years. I didn't think the Terps were anybody's kryptonite. Certainly not this year. Is Maryland still missing their big guy, though?
Yeah.
Dude, they're bad without him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make a case that they're good at all.
All right, let me take a look at some numbers here on CBB Analytics. What do you think, Spoon?
I think if we get this over 20, Maryland is the play. Illinois, I generally think there's a step-up game when you lose your star player, and it's a real game. But when you're going into a game where you're going to win by 20 and you lose your star player, what you're doing in this game is just trying to, exactly what the comment said, try to figure out new rotations, what's going to work with the set of players you have right now. There's no repercussions if you put a bad lineup out there for 15 minutes. You can kind of let somebody fail out there on the court versus real D1 players and still not really sweat out the game. So this is a spot where I think Illinois kind of just plays with their food. I haven't got there yet, but Maryland is definitely on the circled spots to look at tomorrow.
I mean, missing your point guard is serious. Why is it still?
Because Illinois is very good.
And Maryland's that bad.
Yeah. Again, I mean, it might go down. I don't know. I'm just saying, it's just, especially with Purdue on deck. I mean, you would assume that. Again, I know the teams aren't just trying to literally get in and get out, but you know what I mean. So.
Yeah, Maryland plus 20. Notre Dame, North Carolina. Toast, you clicked this one too.
I clicked this one. I really want to bet North Carolina here. I don't know if I can actually do it, but I know that they've looked bad, but I think that we need to give it a little bit of context here. Not that I'm trying to make a case that North Carolina is some world-beating team. I think that when I was talking about Florida, I don't think that's the same type of situation, but 4 losses on the year. 2 of them come in the West Coast road trip that they have to make. First time out to the West Coast. Not trying to make a case that Stanford and California are great teams, but again, they pissed that Stanford game down the leg, and then they just seems like they didn't show up versus California. They're college kids, whatever. But losing to SMU on the road, I won with SMU today. Like I said yesterday, I think SMU is a really good basketball team that might even be a little bit underrated. And then they lost to Michigan State on the neutral. So I'm not in a position where I think that North Carolina is a bad basketball team losing 3 out of 4. I actually think that we're getting a little bit of discount here, getting this number around like 11, like I said, because this Notre Dame team is bad. And I've tried to get there with Shrewsbury. I really have. But at the same time, I mean, they are just, at this point, they are just getting throttled. And I know they're hurting with injuries and whatnot, but now going on the road to a North Carolina team that's just going to be begging to see, and it's going to be a little bit of a step down in competition as well. I think North Carolina has a chance to just slaughter this team. So it's North Carolina for me.
I kind of like this. I kind of like what you were saying. SMU is clearly a wagon. That was official. I told you guys, thank you for the SMU pick. I told you guys all that, and I watched pretty much the entire game. That kid Edwards is awesome. He's
they're good.
Yeah. So North Carolina losing to SMU doesn't look as bad. So they become, their value increases by default. What do you think, Spoon?
So my issue here is just Notre Dame coming off 4 straight losses, sitting 1-4 in conference play. It's not necessarily much of a sell high on Notre Dame, the team itself. I've been just not high on this team all season. I thought we had a small chance to fade them when they hit the road there with Stanford and Cal. Immediately got hit in the face with Stanford, but got Cal. I think this Notre Dame team probably can hang around this number. This probably sits somewhere between 10 and 15 at the end of the game. So I'm not going to play this, but the only play here I would have is North Carolina. I feel like they're the much better team, and it's a nice buy low situation coming off a West Coast road trip that North Carolina's really never had to do before as a program. This whole bringing West Coast teams into ACC, Big Ten, it's a weird experiment, and it's difficult for a lot of these teams travel-wise, especially with kids. We're not talking about professional athletes that are 28, 30 years old seasoned. Like, this is difficult. So I think coming back home, it's a nice situation for them. I think North Carolina shows up, plays well, but I just fear the back door, so I haven't got there.
I just wonder also with this Notre Dame team if that Cal game just kind of just like let all the air out of the balloon, and they just might be a pure fade from them, because they probably should have won that game. They got absolutely screwed, and then the next 3 games.
They're quitting on the season?
No, I'm just saying in general, like, just the air might just be let out, because since that game they've just been absolutely blown out against. I mean, again, decent teams, but I mean they're not even competitive in these games. So. Until I see
you're
them
talking about the Notre Dame team, Cal, because North Carolina just lost to Cal.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Notre Dame. Notre Dame was up in that game. Yeah. There was a Phantom 3 call. Shrewsbury was trying to fight the refs. It was absolute mayhem. They should have won that game, but regardless, yeah.
So since Marcus Burton went out, I mean, the only win they have is versus Stanford. Yeah. This team looks completely different. They lost probably their best player, second best player, like 6 games ago, and it's been downhill.
I'm betting North Carolina.
And North Carolina has actually treated me pretty well this year.
Me too. They came through for me when I bet them.
So, like, I think I've lost once with them, but I think I've cashed like 2 or 3 times with them. So I'm not in a position where I'm like really worried about it.
That's another thing is I bet on this team without I think it was in November, without knowing anything about them, and they came through for me. So why am I going to turn my back on them? I'm betting North Carolina.
And like I said back then, I do think that they're better than people give them credit for. Hubert Davis just finds ways to keep himself having this job, and I feel like he does it again this year, but we'll see.
All right, let's move on to Rhode Island, Richmond. Spoon, what do you think here?
This is definitely Richmond's spot. I got sorry, lost my card here. Richmond -1.5, -115. This line started to move pretty quick today. It's bounced back and forth between 1 and 3. It's back down at 2.5 in a lot of spots. But I just think Rhode Island is a team that's overvalued. If you sort these teams into just their conference play, I feel like Richmond's played a lot better. Their offense is clearly better. Rhode Island has the better defense here, and defense plays a little bit, and maybe they shoot better today, but unless Rhode Island finds a way to shoot really well, I think this is a Richmond spot. I think this is a short number. I think Richmond should be laying closer to 3.5, 4.5, and at 1.5, I couldn't pass up on the number. I got minus 115. It started to move on me before I got on it, so I couldn't get one of the 110s. But I think Richmond wins this game by more than a possession. So I think this is a good spot.
Looks like Circa and Pinnacle opened this one up higher. Circa opened up at 3. Pinnacle at a juice 2.5. So looks like Circa and Pinnacle agree with you certainly by the openers. What do you think, Toast? Any thoughts here?
I got no thoughts on that one. This game, I have no idea.
All right, let's.
They're like the same to me.
Next up, Texas, Kentucky.
Boone, have you looked at this game?
A little bit. I'm in a tough spot with Texas. I don't know necessarily what to think of this team. I didn't think they'd play as well versus Vanderbilt, and I thought they'd play better versus Texas A&M. I was on Texas A&M in that game, so the loss there was not that surprising, but I don't know. Just the way this team showed up the last few games, I don't feel like I have a good read on Texas. I want to take Kentucky here. This is a well-coached team with Mark Pope. I like the roster he's putting out there. I don't think this is a buy high on them, even after 3 straight wins, because of what Texas has done recently versus Alabama and Vanderbilt, getting those 2 wins. Sure, the tough loss at home versus A&M, but now you hit the road, Kentucky. This is a rough environment. I think this is a Kentucky spot. The number's just a little bit big for me. I couldn't quite get there.
I feel you. I just don't understand. I wanted to play over. I wanted to play points, but this number keeps going down. I think it opened at like 156. I was in Disneyland all day, so I haven't had a key on the numbers, but I just don't understand why this number would go down.
It's definitely coming down.
Yeah, and I guess I just don't understand that. If I make an exaggeration on the show a lot where Texas, they rather score 100 or give up 100. And Texas is like one of those teams where it hasn't been as high the last couple games, but they are definitely easily scoring 100 or giving up 100. Again, I'm exaggerating. But my point is defensively, they're absolutely terrible. It doesn't matter how you look at it. This team can't defend at all. And they're going to be facing a Kentucky team that's finally finding themselves. Even the game against Alabama, like, it's just really hard to look at it and be like, oh, it's terrible. I mean, yeah, they shot 4 for 19 from deep. Like, it is what it is. Alabama shot 40% that night. It was just a bad night shooting. They're college kids. And I know that I've been higher on this Kentucky team than a lot of people, but even the Missouri game, Missouri shoots 35% from deep. Kentucky shoots 40% from deep. They piss down their leg. And again, but my point being is that Kentucky has been a lot better than people give them credit for. The Alabama loss, Alabama is one of the better teams in the country. The Missouri loss at home, again, you can take it for what it is. I don't think Missouri is a good team. That's a bad loss to me. But Gonzaga, North Carolina, Michigan State, Louisville looks good now, but at the time it looked really good. My point being is that I still think that even with Kentucky being Kentucky, they're still a little bit undervalued here. But I still think they can put up a whole bunch of points. And as far as Texas is concerned, look, I'm not saying that they're a good basketball team at all, but I do think that they're a lot better than what their 11-7 record is and their 2-3 record in conferences. Because if they win that Mississippi, they could have easily won Mississippi State and against Texas A&M. Obviously, they didn't. But if those games are flipped, or even if they win one of those games and they're like maybe 500 in conference, we might be seeing even a shorter number. So I definitely lean Texas towards the number, but I think the better play is over. I just don't understand why the number is going down.
Well, it just opened. It can come back up. And so I was looking, and see, if you look at pace, these two teams are mediocre, but check this out. You scroll it over to the right and look at percentage of their points on the fast break. 97th percentile in fast-paced points per game for Texas, 99th for Kentucky. So
now go to the defense for Texas and look at all the red in the bottom right. Or
is that on the same page, or is that on a different page?
Oh, we're probably looking at different parts. I do.
Yeah, well, if you go to Texas,
defense right there. There you go.
Advanced defense, steal percentage.
Maybe that's not all of it, but yeah. Anyway, you can see all the red. It's not good.
Yeah, you would have to go to the Texas individual page to see their.
Yeah, but regardless, trust me when I tell you guys.
Let's do it. I'll do over with you. I'm down. Is Spoon talking?
Spew muted.
Spoon, you're muted.
If you go to look at conference play versus the full season with Texas and Kentucky, the pace of play drops down about a possession. I think there is something to conference play just being a little bit tighter. I think that might be why this number is dropping a little bit. Nothing to do with statistically or any players not being in there.
I can get a 153.5 on Kalshi. I got to pay for it, though. I'm going to make a trade.
I actually just got accepted to Poly Market yesterday. I got my invitation. I was a little bit pissed off that you got yours instantly. I'm not going to lie. So,
well, someone hooked it up for me in the chat.
No, I didn't. I didn't have.
Someone pulled some strings, man. Someone was like, I got you.
Or whoever the.
Yeah, I don't know who was either. Someone just like, yo, put this code in. 153.5. I'm in there. Great trade. I'm out here making trades. All right.
Yeah, I can't even get even close to that. That's a hell of a bet.
It's a trade.
Trade.
It's a hell of a trade. Wow. Great trade. All right. Let me just send that screenshot so everyone has it. One sec. All right. Sorry to hold up the show. I'm down. I like the fast break numbers there. Let's see some fast breaks.
And Kentucky is due for a little bit of a letdown, especially defensively after those two road games.
All right. Next up. Next up is Xavier Creighton.
Yo.
Any thoughts here? Some Big East ball?
You can go, Spirit. I really want to lay it with Creighton, but I can't seem to get this team right to save my life. So I haven't really been dipping my toes in this Blue Jay water lately, but it would only be Creighton for me personally. I'm curious to hear if you have any thoughts on this.
Well, Xavier sucks on the road, right?
Yes. Xavier sucks in general. The fact that they have 2 straight wins is because they've played Providence and Butler. Again, losing to DePaul and Marquette, I know we're a DePaul program, but I mean, there's just nothing that this Xavier team has done that's impressive to me in any way, shape, or form. So,
you can say the same thing about Creighton. Perfectly timed.
I'm done.
Spoon, Xavier Creighton. Do you agree that Creighton is the lean here? 7's a big number, though. It's not like Creighton's good.
I agree.
If I could do this game without like the pretense of what's gone on recently in the season, I would take Xavier with the points, thinking that this number is a little bit too big because I don't have a lot of faith in this Creighton team. But this building always shows up. I really expect Creighton to take advantage of just that extra energy in the building and find a couple extra possessions and find a way to cover this number. Xavier is coming off those 2 wins, so it increases their market value. And Creighton coming off 2 of 3 conference losses versus St. John's and Providence. And the last time they were in this building, it was an overtime win versus Georgetown. So everybody that left that game had a great time. You're going to come back after an overtime game with a lot of excitement. Granted, you wanted to win that Georgetown game by a lot more. I don't think anybody in Creighton's thinking this is one of the best teams they've had recently, but there's going to be energy in the building. I think it's going to be hard for Xavier to overcome. I would lean Creighton, but just the actual teams where they're at, the spot's Creighton, but Xavier's the team that I would take if we're just putting them 7 points apart.
Yeah, I'm not touching that. Neither of you guys sound overly confident.
No, because even I just don't trust. I Spoon said it the best. I just don't trust Creighton to lay points like that. I mean, Xavier sucks. I mean, they beat Georgetown because Georgetown literally pissed down their leg. But besides that, they've done nothing.
Am I reading this right?
If Creighton's not a bad team, they should. You're reading that right.
Penny Hardaway is catching 7 from Tulsa? That's not.
You read it right.
That's wrong, right?
Well, yeah, somebody's asleep at the wheel. There's no question about that.
That's Memphis money line.
Let me get this straight, everybody. Tulsa has played very well. I'm not trying to take away that Tulsa hasn't played well this year, but the schedule merchant in me would advise you guys that they've played a 190 strength of schedule, 255 in the non-con, compared to a Memphis team that's played a 20th strength of schedule in the non-con, 55th overall. They've been tested at every point this year. So yes, their 9-8 record doesn't look good, but I mean, their losses are to usually, I mean, at least top 80, 85 teams, give or take. I mean, there's a couple outliers there, obviously, but and I mean, this goes back for a while now. Getting Penny as a dog is a great step-up spot. And honestly, I'm not even worried about being on the road. I mean, they played on the road at Mississippi. They played on the road at Louisville. They played on the road at FAU. They played on the road at Mississippi State. And they played in neutrals against Wake and Purdue. So my point being, again, is like this Memphis team has been tested. I don't think they're that great, but at the same time, I don't think Tulsa's done anything to warrant laying multiple possessions here in this conference game. Not to mention the fact that there's one thing I love about Memphis on the road is that they're one of the deepest teams in the country. So they be running everybody out there. So they don't get tired. They play all full game. Yeah, Memphis is definitely a play for me tomorrow.
I just bet it. But you can't get the sevens are gone.
Yes.
I got a 6.5. Spoon, you down?
Yeah, I got 6.5, 110 with Memphis. I also considered that money line. This Memphis team has definitely been tested. Their non-conference strength of schedule is 20th in the country. Includes Mississippi, Purdue, Wake Forest, Baylor, Louisville, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State. Absolutely a gauntlet. They didn't win a ton of those games. Walking into conference play, sitting 5-7. Now they're 9-8, 4-1 in conference play with a loss to Florida Atlantic on the road. I think this is a spot where Memphis can get a tough win. I haven't got there with the money line play yet. One thing I've noticed just looking at lines, it seems like even if the number doesn't change that much, you can find a better price on the money line the next day, just the way the books adjust their values with everything. I think I probably will wind up on a quarter unit, half unit play on Memphis, but I already have the 6.5, 110. I don't expect that to go past 7 again. I think it comes back down the other way, 5.5 closing number.
Yeah.
You can get a plus
Toast
245.
touched on it. Tulsa played nobody. Their non-con's the opposite. Like bottom 200 strength of schedule, 255. I mean, it's terrible. So the numbers look bad on paper, but we bring it just to conference stats. Memphis, their defense is so good. Their net rating is really up there. Tulsa's on the top of the country with anything statistically, but this is a really good buy low for Memphis.
Let's do it.
Memphis is 245 plus 245 on the money line on FanDuel right now. It's like 210 in other spots. So
Really? They're way off?
I think so. I don't have odds logic open. I only have one other thing, but yeah, I would look at that really quickly.
Wow, why is it so much higher there?
That's what I'm saying. I'm in the hotel room, so I think I'm just gonna.
I might dip my toe in.
I'll do half unit with you guys right now.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I definitely don't think you're gonna get better. I'm gonna do a quarter unit. Don't get crazy, Spoon.
That seems
You're a
off.
gambling man. You're a gambling man.
That seems off to me.
Right.
Went 6 and 3
Why are they
back-to-back
so
days.
far
I'm
off
not even
market?
excited.
I've been. I don't. You know what? I don't even want to talk about it.
All right, I just took the money line too. Let's go, Penny.
Really quickly though, how about those Mets? Sneaky move tonight.
Who needs pitching?
Sneaky move tonight.
See, pitching is the most overrated aspect of the game. You just load up on bats. That's how you win. Screw pitching.
Their AAA staff was loaded last year. You saw it right towards the end of the season with them pulling up some of those guys. They're getting some innings.
They bring in Framber. It's going to be electricity in Queens every night.
Yeah, this is Mets will be playing in the World Series.
Yo,
And here's
dude,
the crazy part. The Mets will be playing in the World Series, and they won't even play the Dodgers in the playoffs because the Dodgers are going to slip up and lose to the Phillies, and then the Mets will dispose of those filthy sons of bitches from Philadelphia in the
I'm gonna have
NLCS.
to beg my wife to come over there to watch them play at Citi Field because you just Bichette, Simeon, Polanco on top of everybody. Now Robert. Are you kidding me?
That lineup's stacked. Pitching, not necessary.
Who cares?
Spoon.
Win game 7-5.
Spoon, you requested this American Athletic matchup. Temple Rice.
I did. I got Temple -1 in this. I believe. Don't have it on this part right here. Temple -1, -110. I think I have it on Caesars. Temple's coming off 2 losses in a row to Memphis and Florida Atlantic, 2 of the best teams in conference. They started out conference play with 3 wins versus Charlotte, UTSA, East Carolina. I think the market values come down on them quite a bit after those 2 losses. This Rice team is bad. They're coming off a win versus UTSA, and that is not anything to be excited about. UTSA is really bad this year. On paper, ranked 345 in Ken Palm's net ratings, and they have a win versus Wichita State, which looks awesome on paper because Wichita State is ranked 102, but Wichita State was coming off a double overtime game versus Charlotte, and we're playing with limited minutes from one of their better players in that game. I think this is a spot where, on paper, this Rice team's value is just inflated. To be able to just get 1 point with Temple here is ridiculous. I think this team should be laying 3 right here in this specific spot. That's what Ken Palm makes it. Maybe it's a little bit of a fishy spot for that. Maybe it's just the home court advantage baked in, but I think it's just 2 teams that nobody really cares that much about and doesn't have great value on. I think Rice is quite a bit worse statistically. Ken Palm backs that up. If we look at their conference stats, they're 15% net rating, -12 overall. Temple sitting at 6-6 in the 75 overall in just their conference play. And the defense with Temple is everything. I just think Rice is going to have such a hard time scoring on this team.
So I can get a minus. Would you get a -1, you said?
Yeah, I got -1, -110 on Caesars.
I can still get that. So you think do you think this is going to close? Toast, do you agree that Temple closes as a bigger?
Yes, 100%. The only thing that I can add to that is that the Temple kind of relies on the 3-point shot, but they've shown over the course of the year that they've been able to shoot on the road, especially versus Davidson and Charlotte, both of those teams that are significantly better than Rice. And on top of that, we're getting them off of a performance on the road against Memphis where they shot 2 for 19 from 3-point land. That's going to progress for the positive. Yeah, I don't understand why this number is so short. I think they take money as well. This number, I agree with Spoon. This number should be at least a full possession in my opinion.
So yeah, Pinnacle doesn't even have this game open yet. So I would imagine Pinnacle's going to open up at like 2.5 based on what you guys are saying.
And Circa also doesn't have this game open last I checked. So
it's open now. They opened
those are the market
1.5. They opened it.
Those are the market movers. It's already a little bit heavier than the original openers.
Yeah,
that'll decide where this line goes.
Yep, it's cool. I'm in -1. Just grabbed it. Temple Owls. That I'll never forget the screech in that football stadium, man. At the link, every time they get a first down, they play an owl screech on the speakers that pierces your brain. It's like the most aggravating sound, and they play it over every first down. Insane.
I don't know why, but I thought you were going Dustin Diamond screech there, and I was really confused.
No. Every first down Temple football gets, they play an owl screech over. That's like their first down celebration. But it's like it's very uncomfortable. I don't know who thinks that's a good idea there. Temple Athletic Department, if you're listening, cut that shit out. We got to talk about Texas A&M, friend of the program. Go on the road to Austin. Longhorns, not a big deal. Outright. We should have taken the money line. I love this team. They keep coming through. I love Texas A&M. Are we looking at a sell high spot, though? We're now laying 8.5.
That's a great start to this because in what world is Texas A&M an 8.5-point favorite right now in the SEC? Look, I think I've played them 3 straight games, so I'm in love with Buckyball. I'm all in. But, and there's a huge but behind that, I mean, they were 4.5-point dogs to Texas, 11.5-point dogs to Tennessee, 4.5-point favorites to Oklahoma, 6.5-point dogs versus Auburn, and 5.5-point favorites to LSU. I think this is a little bit too many points, especially after a big road win. I mean, keep in mind, they probably could have won that Tennessee game as well. That game went to overtime, obviously. They are playing fantastic, but and it's hard to say a team's going to be in a letdown spot at home. But again, I do think this is too many points here. Even in the games that Texas A&M, again, and I talked about what those spreads were, they're not winning by margin. So when they have played the upper echelon teams, they're definitely not winning by margin. It's going to be close games. And if there's one, I mean, and I do have a soft spot in my heart for the dentist Chris Jans. I think everybody knows that. They're coming off of three straight losses, but they got a Kentucky team that was finally figuring it out. They got an Alabama team that was absolutely pissed off and was just couldn't miss that game. They couldn't seem like, and then they got against Ole Miss. It was a 1-point game. So I don't even think they're really playing that bad. They're just off of 3 straight losses, and we're getting in them at 8.5. I really want to play Mississippi State. I just want to see what this number does. I don't know if it continues to rise
moved
or not.
up. Circa
yeah,
opened.
that's what I'm saying.
What? Who's
I was going to say I don't know. Again, I love Texas A&M. There's no – again, I've won a whole bunch of money with them this year. But, again, my personal opinion is this number is a little bit too big.
I can get a plus 9.5 right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I was thinking like 6.5. 7 would have been like, okay, maybe they really like Texas A&M. But 8.5, 9.5?
We just saw Mississippi State just went on the road to Texas and pretty much played the same game against Texas that Texas A&M did. Yeah. Spoon, make some sense of this number, please.
I think there's probably some injuries involved with Mississippi State that might be coming back and adding, or not coming back, but might be adding to this number's just overall appeal plus 8.5. Just looking at it, it should be 5.5 tops, but I don't know. It's probably this way for a reason. I'm not that locked in on these two teams. I was just trying to look at some injury information as we were going, because generally when you see it kind of ballooned this much, it's for a reason.
So you don't know of any injuries. You're speaking. No, you're speculating.
Good. So there's 3 guys that missed the last game for Mississippi State. Just going through the numbers, but they don't look like huge players for them or anything.
You need Hubbard, Epps, Anchor, Jones. Those are the guys you need. Everybody else, I mean,
I'm playing it.
It seems like a nice buy low after three losses. I'm just trying to make sense of the number as well, because it's a big number, and you're telling me the sharp books are moving up. When the sharp books move up on like the small like off-board lines, like American East play, like I don't make a big deal about it, but SEC they're pretty sharp on. They have a lot of information with this stuff.
To be fair, MGM is a little bit soft.
Yeah, so. MGM. I'm going. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm taking my business.
Stop thinking. Just saying.
There's a 9.5. I'm not afraid of any ghosts. I'm taking it. The hell is it? Just saw it. Sorry to hold the show up. It feels sacrilege to fade the Aggies.
I know.
So
this was a hard one.
It is buckyball. Like when it's executed correctly, like this is what it does. You blow teams out.
Yeah, but Mississippi State also kind of runs at a fast pace themselves. It'll be back and forth, right? I'm taking it.
And they're not blowing teams out in the SEC. That's where my issue was.
All right, I'm in. Plus 9.5. All right, let's go next. You laying 30 here, Toast?
No, same play as last time.
Oh, under.
This market hasn't adjusted. BetMGM, thank you again. 148.5, minus 115. Under, guys. Gonzaga, very, very good defensively, even without EK and Huff. I don't know if EK is going to be back or not. Doesn't matter to me. The scoring is going to go significantly down with Huff out of that lineup. I promise you guys that. That under that I loved was absolutely sweat-free last game. I think it's going to continue this. I think this number is going to drop to like the 146 range. Yeah, under 148.5.
I tailed you on the last one and won by like 20 points.
I'm telling you guys.
So you also had Seattle's defense built into that, though. Like Seattle has a really good defense.
That's why this number is 20 points lower. But still,
this is going to look like the Y kids after Seattle playing defense. This is going to be whatever the number sets it for Gonzaga. It's minus 30 for a reason.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, Huff and EK had. I mean, just destroyed these two teams the first time that they played. So, I mean, again, I mean, if EK comes back 100% and just absolutely goes off, and I lose it because of that, I guess so be it. But who's scoring for Gonzaga? Like, that's the issue. Who's scoring for Gonzaga?
I feel like that's what Few's shouting in practice right now, and they're all going to step up. Gonzaga team total over and then full game under.
Yo, trust me.
So if Circa opened at 146.5, went up to 149, and then came back down to 148.5. I'm not touching it. I won the last one. I'm chilling. Spoon's right. This isn't Seattle, dude. It's Pepperdine. I think Gonzaga's second unit.
I'm telling you, the market is way off on these numbers with Gonzaga and these injuries. I'm telling you that.
You're telling me that the market's way off.
Oh, look at that. I just got a notification. Our friend Duck is on the same under as me.
Duck's on.
Sharp
Oh,
minds.
damn it. I'll bet it.
Sharp minds.
Sharp minds. All right, I'll bet it. I bet that under. He's telling me. Guys,
I got my Toledo Kent State over the other day. I think that was my first total of the season. I'm going to retire with that one total. Got it on the last basket with a kid running down the court to throw a layup in. Meaningless. I was like, thank you, sir.
Get while the getting's good. Got your total. Get in and get out. All right, I bet that.
I'm very selective with totals. Some people are just straight totals. I'm very selective. I'm not great with them.
Vatex, Syracuse.
Kent State Toledo, I don't care how big the number was. We had to take that over.
Virginia Tech, Syracuse.
I really want to bet Syracuse here. I'm not going to. I clicked this game because it was a big game, but I just wanted to say that I still think that Syracuse is kind of a little bit underrated. I know that the 12-6 record doesn't look great, and the 3-2 conference record doesn't look great, but Clemson's a somewhat decent basketball game. The Boston College loss is inexcusable, but previous to that, I mean, Hofstra, Kansas, Houston, Iowa State, this team's been through kind of the gauntlet at times. So, I mean, they were losing Donnie Freeman for a while. I think they're going to continue to get better. I think they're a reason they're a favorite. Virginia Tech hasn't been terrible this year, but again, I think that Syracuse is really, really undervalued. They've came through multiple times for me this year. I'm not in love at laying 4. I was trying to lay like 2.5, something under 3, but now it's 4. I'm not going to bet it, but it would only be Syracuse for me.
Spoon, any thoughts? I'm not interested.
Yeah, I got Virginia Tech plus 3.5 minus 105. I think that number is still available on DraftKings right now. I just break these two teams down. I know Syracuse has been playing better ball. They've gotten a little bit healthier as the season's gone along. But I just think this number is too big. Virginia Tech has shown the ability to play good basketball in spots, and I just don't trust it from Autry and Syracuse right now. I think Virginia Tech's live to win this game, and I think to be able to get more than a possession at the end of this game is a little bit ridiculous. I think this should be Syracuse minus 2, and just getting 3.5. That it's too much, and the minus 2. I mean, I would still take Virginia Tech at that number. So, love this spot.
Circuit just moved off of 8.5 on Mississippi State down to 7.5. By the way. Yeah, I'm not interested in this one. Mr. Wesker's in the comments has actually accused us of being biased against Syracuse and purposely skipping their games. So there you go.
On that note, we gotta talk about Arizona every once in a while because they just blow everybody out. So we always skip over the games.
Yeah,
the number 2 team in the country. We've talked about them once all year.
Yeah, I noticed that too. They're always laying 24 points. But yeah, we can make it a point to put it on there. Well, Toast, we're on to Washington, Nebraska. Toast, are you going to tell us about how Nebraska is not good and this is where they fall, right?
I haven't said that. I took 6.5 points against Northwestern. It closed at 4.5. So tell me that's a bad bet. That's fine. But
by the way, Circa just dropped down to a flat 5 on Memphis. You love to see it.
Things you like to see.
Same things you like to see.
That 245 money line is going to be gone.
It's going to be long gone.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Nebraska sucks. We know the bit.
But again, I don't think they're a good basketball team. That doesn't mean they don't have a good resume and stuff. Just because I don't know why everybody gets up in their panties because I don't think they're a good basketball team. Why is everybody trying to convince little old me that they're so good? That's all I'm trying to. That's all I'm saying.
They don't lose basketball games. That's a pretty good attribute, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
So you're taking Washington.
No. I can't bet Washington here. I think that I do think that after playing Michigan and Michigan State, that obviously Nebraska is going to be a little bit of a step down in class. But again, I think that Washington played kind of pretty well. I mean, the Michigan game kind of got away from them, but I think that was like some of the best you're going to see Washington play. I don't think that they're that good. I know that they're getting healthier and whatnot, but going on the road to this Nebraska team that obviously has a horseshoe up their ass. Again, is Washington a little bit of a step up in competition? I guess, sure, because after playing Oregon and Northwestern, but I don't know, man. I need to see Washington actually play a really solid game, and Ohio State just doesn't do it for me. So I'm not betting it. It would only be Nebraska.
Granted, admittedly, I haven't watched a ton of Washington games. I thought they played pretty hard against Michigan. I thought
that's what I'm saying. Like
they didn't quit.
I just, and they're continuing to get healthy. They're getting guys back. I just need to see it with my own eyes one time, actually win it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll start getting into it. But I'm not gonna keep. Everybody thinks I fade Nebraska every game. I don't. But I mean, I'm not. I really want to be I need a team that I like to fade Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to take Washington here. I'm also not. Wait, we're polling 50%? Really? That many of you taking Washington? I thought everyone would be voting Nebraska. Spoon, has the Nebraska value gotten too high? We're now talking about laying 12 points, so it's no longer like they're no longer being disrespected in the market. They're now getting priced as the team that they're now getting priced like their record shows.
Do you think? I guess I want to know too is what your thoughts on Washington are, because obviously they have a pretty decent strength of schedule, but I still don't think they're that good.
So it's difficult. They're missing one of their better players in Desmond Claude. I don't think he's going to be back at this point. Coming off 2 losses to Michigan State doesn't lower anybody's value in the Big Ten. So I'm not worried about buying low on them at this point, even though they're off home losses, but they're traveling out east quite a bit. This Nebraska team, like if we look at what they've done at home this year, I mean, they've just absolutely throttled everybody. I won't mention the bad teams, but Creighton, they won by 21 points. Wisconsin, we've seen what they've done recently. They beat Wisconsin at home by 30 points. Michigan State, great team. I know we talked about this game on that show. They beat them by 2 points, not a blowout. It's impossible to blow out Michigan State at home at this point. But then Oregon 90-55 in their last home game. That was the 13th. They've had more than a week off. There's not a lot to do in Nebraska. I think those fans are going to show up. They're going to be really excited about their undefeated Nebraska team. And I think they're going to be rooting for an absolute blowout. I think there's going to be people with signs saying win by 30. I think it'd be more fun if you're going to play this game to do Nebraska alt line minus 19.5. I haven't got there yet with Nebraska, but I think I do want to.
Yeah, it would only be Nebraska for me too.
I will say this though, I do think that if Washington, because again, I'm not betting Washington to cover anything. This has nothing to do with my hate of Nebraska. But if Washington can look somewhat decent against Nebraska as well, cover or not, but just look decent, I think we could start getting a bye situation, then going back home against against Oregon, and then they go on the road to Illinois, who we just talked about lost their point guard. So if they're starting to play well, we might get some decent numbers on Washington.
Andy's in the comments asking if Claude is officially out. There's an article from one day ago. Washington guard Desmond Claude is stepping away from on-court activities amid his recovery from an injury. So that was yesterday, that article. So
he just hasn't been himself. Even when he has played, he just hasn't really looked right. So
my understanding is he's also out indefinitely.
Yeah.
That's what I don't know if he's asked, is he officially out? Yeah, it looks like it.
Not to like talk shit or anything, but even if he was in, that doesn't help.
He hasn't been playing well?
In my opinion, no, not at all.
Okay. Loyola Marymount, yeah, Spoon.
He's good.
Are we in the little shitbox stadium? Well,
we're in the crack house.
We're in the crack. That's what it's called. I knew it had a shitty name. The crack house. So you got to lay the 4 here in the crack house, right?
Yeah, I got 3.5 minus 110. So Seattle's moved out of their little conference. We don't get the same numbers we used to with just bad teams. And I'm not going to say LMU's a bad team, but after the competition that Seattle's faced recently, this is going to be a significant step down in competition. If we break these two teams down just into their conference play numbers, Seattle doesn't look much better than LMU. The only thing that really sticks out is that Seattle has a much, much better defense. Everything else is really comparable. But if you look at where these teams have had to play, who they've had to play against, I think Seattle is really going to shine here. I think the energy in the building is going to allow them to hit a lot of shots. I wouldn't be surprised to see Seattle win this game by 15 points. I think 3.5 is too small. I think this number should close to 5.
I can still get a 3.5. Toast, do you agree?
Yeah, it would only be Seattle for me. It's just a significant step down in class. And Loyola on the road has just been absolutely terrible. I mean, they looked somewhat decent, or tried to look somewhat decent against St. Mary's, but then dropped one against Washington State. Obviously lost to Gonzaga, but St. Mary's, Oregon State, I have to see something from Loyola Marymount. Not to mention, like I said, like Spoon said, the step down in class. I mean, Seattle's losing to teams like Gonzaga, St. Mary's. You know, they went to Corvallis on a Thursday. They had no chance. It's hard to really say anything bad about the Seattle team right now.
All right. I'm not touching that. Pinnacle opened 4.5 and actually came down to 4. Whatever. Next. No, I added this one on you guys. So we got 3 games left, and I added the Northwestern USC game. Do you guys have any thoughts? I know neither of you have a pick in it.
I really want to bet USC here. I think that the we've seen with USC is that you kind of beat the teams that they're supposed to beat. They've been losing to the teams that they're supposed to lose to, essentially.
Didn't they just beat Purdue?
They just lost. They barely lost it. They lost.
Oh, I covered. That's why it felt like they won.
Yes, we all covered the 9.5.
Yeah.
Yes, but to that point, I mean, they're 3-4 in conference play, and their 3 losses are Purdue by 5, Michigan State, and Michigan. So, I mean, they have a weird loss to Washington, but I don't think that USC is as bad as people make them out to be. I think that they obviously looked bad to start Big Ten play against the big boys. But besides that, I mean, the Minnesota game, it is what it is. But again, Minnesota has been really, really good at home. So I think that was hard fought. And then obviously they destroyed Maryland. And I think they're going to destroy Northwestern here too. So I tried to get behind Northwestern at home versus Nebraska. Obviously that did not work out at all after the first 5 minutes of that basketball game. But I've tried to figure out ways to possibly buy on Northwestern. It just hasn't been there. They just haven't really looked good at all. And they're really, I mean, besides the Rutgers game, which, I mean, they kind of just pissed down their leg. I mean, they're not even losing games by multiple. They're losing all their games by multiple possessions. So, I'll be on USC tomorrow for sure.
Also, there, like someone said it in the comments. It was Jen. First game out west.
That as well, yes.
And yeah, they are. They other than Rutgers, they've lost every single game. They at home against Minnesota, they only lost by 6. So that's at home against Minnesota. Yeah, this feels short. Spoon, would you agree?
So USC's kind of banged up. They're missing a lot of their kind of role players, not necessarily their star guys, but important players to them. Just recently lost Jerry Easter, one of their backup guards, one of the best players to come out of Ohio in the recent few years. And been keeping a close eye on USC just specifically for him. And I thought they played really well versus Purdue. I think coming back home, you get a little bit of energy. Maybe get an extra role player back in this spot. I think this is a USC spot, but I just can't do it right where they're at right now. That there's not enough role players that they're comfortable putting out there. So you're getting guys in uncomfortable situations. They looked really good versus Purdue, and that's what's going to keep me off of it. I feel like it creates a buy high spot a little bit, and I want to play USC. I'm just not going to.
I'll put USC up, so USC or pass for Spoon. And then 2 games remaining, and they were both late additions. The first one, this one's out of order. So this Colgate American game actually should have been one of the first games. It was 7 p.m. Eastern. So the Spoon, this is one you added?
Yeah, this is Colgate money line minus 105 is the number I have. This is a team that at this point in the season, we're just getting a really good buy low on them. The American Eagles are sitting at 11-8. Colgate Raiders are sitting at 11-8. Colgate's 5-1 in conference play. This is the team that I expect to win the conference. To be able to get them as a dog on the road,
whoa!
I'm always going to take this.
Something happened, Spoon, because in the last couple minutes, Americans now, it went from in the last 15 minutes, it went from American -1.5. It's now American -5.5. So something happened.
Insane.
So someone must be ruled out.
We don't know that. This happened 2 days ago with 3 different games. They all got spiked. I think they all lost too. I'm
not too worried about it. I'm not going to chase the number, but I do have Colgate money line -105. Market's too low on this. I guarantee that American 5.5 will not be there. If you want to take some CLV right now, I would take the plus with Colgate right now.
All right, I'll do it. You don't got to twist my arm.
We saw it with me with Boston a couple days ago as well. I got Boston +100 overnight. I didn't even think anything was going to happen. They closed -200.
So I can get a +200 money line right now.
200, you said?
Yeah. What the hell happened? Why?
What?
You get a +200. So that's.
I think you just take that as knowing that's a decent bet. I mean,
so that's a misprice then.
Number.
+190.
I would think so. Yes. I don't. That makes. I mean, unless Colgate's missing like fucking Cox or something, whoever that kid's name is.
Okay,
but
yeah, I'm
not.
Like, what could possibly happen to make that line?
Okay. +190.
All right.
What the hell? How could it move that much? All right, I'm in, Spoon. I'm a Colgate guy with you. All right. 1 second, sorry. All right. Next up. Oh, it's coming back down. It's now down to 3.5. It's coming back down. We bought low. All right. Someone goes, I just watched this number go from 5.5 to 3.5 in 30 seconds. Yeah, we're playing in penny stocks here.
I call bullshit.
I think the UNC Asheville line did the same thing. It was +2 at one point. Now it's like -6 or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's been a couple games like that today.
All right. San Diego State, Grand Canyon, last college basketball game, and then I'll get into the NBA.
Boom.
I know Toast wants to talk about this one too, though. He likes San Diego. Oh, no.
Yeah.
You like San Diego State?
No, Spoon sent it in the chat before I could because we both needed sides. But I don't know what side he is on. So I do have a play on this game, correct?
Let's hear it, Spoon.
This is San Diego State for me. Grand Canyon coming off a really big win where they upset probably the best team in the conference. This is Grand Canyon's first year in this conference. Grand Canyon and Seattle used to exist in the same conference together. Both kind of went separate ways here, but Grand Canyon was the powerhouse of their own conference. Now they have a new coach, or not a new coach. It's still Scott Drew's brother there, Bryce Drew. And this is a really good team. They've shown it, but coming off that giant win, this is just immediately a sell high on them. San Diego State's one of the best teams in the conference. If you haven't watched this team play defense, it's one of the best scheme defenses you'll see in all of Division I basketball. And Drew's, they run zone defenses, and it works successfully versus some teams, but I expect San Diego State to really show out. They've shown the ability to score really well in conference, better than they did with their out-of-conference schedule, and I think that carries over versus Grand Canyon. This is a money line spot as a dog that I really don't think we should be getting. I think San Diego State should probably be laying 2 points here at a minimum, and it's just a misprice.
Toast?
Could not agree more. One of the first bets I made today, San Diego State plus 100. Just don't understand this line. Yes, Grand Canyon has looked decent, especially with that Utah State win. But prior to that, I mean, I'm not going to give that team a whole bunch of credit for beating a Boise State team that's been up and down. I mean, Wyoming, I thought it would be a decent spot for them today. I ended up not betting them, and they got absolutely throttled. So I'm not even at a point where I think the Wyoming win is that positive for them. And then as far as you can think San Diego State is concerned, they have losses to Arizona and Michigan, the two best teams in the country. They lost to Troy in double overtime by 1 in some bullshit game. It is what it is. Good for them. And then they lost to Baylor on a neutral by 10. So I think, like Spoon said, San Diego State is a Mountain West supremacy. Dutcher knows what he's doing. Grand Canyon's still the new kid on the block. This number makes absolutely no sense to me. Not to mention the fact San Diego State's the much better team. I don't care if it's on the road at home. I agree with Spoon. This number should be San Diego State minus 2.5. And yes, that means that I would lay 5.5 or so at home with San Diego State against this Grand Canyon team. This doesn't make any sense to me.
Really?
Yes.
It's 11 o'clock too. I'll bet it.
We could sweat the end of it out on the show.
Grand Canyon
tomorrow night on the show.
Grand Canyon can't shoot. So if they can't shoot and they're trying to get into the paint and score on this defense, good luck. Good luck.
I can get a plus 100 right now.
That's exactly what I got.
Well, I'll dabble. 1 second, let me get that down. Plus 100.
You're a sharp crayon tonight, Spoon.
A sharp crayon. All right.
He always says he's a dull crayon.
Yeah, I know. He refers to himself as a crayon often. All right. I'm going to talk about NBA, guys. Go enjoy your night. Talk to you later.
We get that cash.
Yep. We shall do our best. All right. First up is Cleveland, Charlotte. I feel like this line's a little bit disrespectful to the Hornets, man. I mean, with the current injury situations with Cleveland's been so streaky, so inconsistent, and I suppose that what makes it a little tough is Cleveland's best fastball certainly should beat the Hornets in Charlotte. But the thing is, it's a toss-up on whether or not we're seeing Cleveland's best fastball. Let's get our NBA graphics up here. So still no Garland. Garland's going to be reevaluated in a few days. He won't be playing in this one. I believe Sam Merrill, this graphic shows that he's questionable. I believe he's been ruled out. But you know what? I'm going to pull it up, see if I have any updated information on that. Yeah, Sam Merrill has been ruled out. So you got no Garland, no Sam Merrill. We've seen Cleveland play 2 games without these 2 guards. The first one, Jalen Tyson scored 39 points, and they somehow found a way to win against the Sixers. They did not deserve to win that game. Jalen Tyson went nuts. I doubt Jalen Tyson is going to save him again in this one. They're up against a Charlotte team that's in good shape here. Plumlee's ruled out. Other than that, this Hornets team's in good shape. Grant Williams, actually, I think he's been removed from the injury report. Grant Williams is going to play. He recently came back. So Charlotte's in good shape. I mentioned how Cleveland's been streaky. The defense has been unreliable. In their last 6 games, they have a defensive rating over 120. And if you're thinking, well, Kyle, now they play the Hornets. Well, the Hornets happen to have the most efficient offense in the NBA in the last 10 games. And I mean first in offensive efficiency in the last 10. And specifically, where has Cleveland struggled? The 3-point line. They are dead last in defensive efficiency against the 3-point shot. Want to know who launches an assload of threes? The Charlotte Hornets. So, look, by no means am I saying, no, the Hornets should be laying 4.5 here or anything like that. This Hornets team, I just think, is undervalued and not getting proper respect in the market. Also, if you look at the Hornets' recent schedule, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of their last 10 games have been on the road. And they're still 5-5. They're hanging in there. They're competitive in these games. They're still 8-3 against the spread in the last 7. Been saying this for a while. I just don't think the market's showing Charlotte enough respect. They're improving defensively. They're still not a great defensive team, but they're improving defensively. The entire team can shoot the lights out. I think this should be about a pick. So a plus 2.5 Do I want to add this actually? It's opening 2.5 across the board. Looks like Cleveland's taking a little money. Yeah, I like Charlotte, but I don't see any reason to bet it now. If I can get maybe a Charlotte at plus at over a possession, I'll add it. But Charlotte or pass at 2.5. Pacers, Celtics. All right. Pacers, Celtics. So Indiana, same injury report. I think Mathurin is coming back soon, but he will not be back for this one. Let me just check an update on that. Yeah, Mathurin has been ruled out. Celtics are good to go. Jaylen Brown is on the injury report. He's listed as probable, though. So Jaylen Brown's going to play. So the problem with the Pacers is they can't score points. And I mean at all. This is the worst offense in the NBA. I actually am not even sure if it's debatable. Pretty sure this is the worst offense in the NBA by a good margin. So the problem is the Pacers can't score points. So how, despite having the worst offense in the NBA, have they managed to keep it tight with Boston in 2 of the 3 games they played? This is the 4th time these 2 teams have met already. Indiana's 2-1 against the spread, 1-2 straight up. So these 2 teams have met 3 times. The Pacers have played Boston tough twice. So how have they managed to do that with the worst offense in the NBA? Well, they played some solid defense in those 3 games, and specifically where they match up well is the only thing the Pacers have positive green numbers in on these spreadsheets here is their defense against the 3-point shot. They actually allow a very infrequent amount of 3-point shots. Now, it's an all-you-can-eat buffet at the rim. They can't protect the basket. They cannot stop dribble penetration at all. And maybe that's why they don't allow a lot of 3-point shots, because teams that play them don't need to shoot threes because they can just get into the paint and score so easily. But regardless, when you're playing a team like Boston, all they do is shoot threes. Boston doesn't really do much dribble penetration. It's all ball movement and 3-point shooting. So a team like Indiana that puts a ton of pressure on the perimeter, it's a tough matchup, and we've seen this Indiana defense. We've seen Indiana play Boston twice. Tough. Recently, too. The Pacers just beat the Celtics on January 12th. The Pacers just beat these guys. It's also a weird scheduling spot for Boston. You got 4 road games. You come home for 1 game, and then you go back out on the road again, coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Pistons. I'm not taking the Pacers here, but there's no way I'd lay 10 with Boston. This team the Pacers kind of have the Celtics number. They played them tough a couple times. It's a tough matchup defensively. It would only be Indiana. There was actually a 12 available. Is it still? Yeah, it's at 10.5 now. There was a 12 available earlier for those of you that got on that. Nets, Knicks. So I took the over in this one. I bet this one. Early movement seems to disagree, but I think it'll close well. I got a 224.5. You can actually get a better number than that right now. So Nets, Knicks. How could you bet on the New York Knicks right now? Since the NBA Cup, this team is 3-15 against the spread. 3-15. If you've been blindly fading the New York Knicks since the NBA Cup, you are doing just fine. Now, they were banged up there for a while. They're fully healthy now. First, it was Josh Hart missed a chunk of games. Jalen Brunson just missed 2 games recently. Landry Shamet just came back. Who cares about? Well, I don't say who cares, but not that he's a huge game changer. But they have been dealing with injuries, and now they're fully healthy. So maybe that's the start of things starting to turn around. But the way the Knicks are playing, you just can't lay a big number with this team. Nets are also in good shape. Day'Ron Sharp's listed as questionable. Let's see if there's an update on that. No, he's still listed as questionable as of right now. So I don't know what has happened to the Nets defense. And that what makes this game tough, because you rewind back. This is actually crazy. And I want to be clear before I bring this graphic up on the screen. I'm not saying this is because of Cam Thomas. I'm just pointing it out. I'm not saying Cam Thomas is the reason for this, but this is kind of crazy. In the 10 games before Cam Thomas came back from injury, the Nets were 7-3 with the best defensive rating in the NBA. They were first. They were the most efficient defense in the NBA. 7-3 in the 10 games before Cam Thomas came back from injury. Since Cam Thomas has come back from injury, they're the worst defensive team in the NBA. I actually think they're 29th. Now, again, I don't know if it's because of Cam Thomas. I'm just saying that's where you could see that's where the red starts on the graphic. So I don't know if we could trust this Nets defense right now. And look, and you could see it clear as day on his on and off. In the games Cam Thomas has been in the lineup, the Nets are 4-14 with a defensive rating of 122.3. That's terrible. In the games without Cam Thomas in the lineup, they're 8-15, 12-11 against the spread with a 114 defensive efficiency. So even though the Nets defense was showing us something a few weeks ago, they're not good right now. And I would imagine the Knicks are able to score points. Now, in the last 4 games, the Knicks offense is going through something. Against their little brother, the Nets, I think the Knicks will score points on them. And I can't trust the Knicks to stop anybody defensively. And the Nets offense, their numbers are a little tough to read because they played a couple back-to-backs and they rested Dioman in one of them. They rested Michael Porter in a couple of them. If you actually look at the games where they have their guys on the court, their offense isn't bad, and the Knicks can't seem to stop anybody. The Knicks have controlled things against their little brother, the Brooklyn Nets, 12 in a row, 12-0 straight up, 8-3-1 against the spread against Brooklyn. So I can't take the Nets, but I can take the over. 2 slow-paced teams, I get that, but really think the Nets defense is not reliable right now. They're not playing good defense at all. Nick Claxton is good. The rest of the defense just seems to be out of sync. Think the Knicks will score here. And I think the Nets know their only chance they have of winning this game is running. If they try to play half-court basketball against the Knicks, they know they're probably going to lose. So, yeah, I took this over. You can get a better number than I did right now. You can get 223.5. I think it comes up. Pistons, Pelicans. Where's this at now? You can get a 9. I almost grabbed Pistons minus 8.5. I think the number should be 10 here. So at 9.5, I still lean Pistons. There was an 8.5 before. I'm hoping, excuse me, I'm hoping Herb Jones gets ruled in and this number drops and you get Pistons at a better number. Herb Jones is listed as questionable for New Orleans. And I'm if he does come back, I'm not sure how much he moves the needle in his first game back. So I'm hoping he gets ruled in and the market overreacts to that news and I can get the Pistons at a better number. So like I said, Herb Jones is listed as questionable. Let's see if there's an update on that. Yeah, he's still listed as questionable. His on and off, this is not on and off splits, by the way. So the most accurate way to look at this kind of stuff would be the actual minutes when he's on and off the court. That's not what my stuff is, unfortunately. These are the games where he wasn't in the lineup versus the games where he was. So it's something, it's not the most accurate way to view things, but in the games Herb Jones played, was active for the Pelicans and played in the game, they're 7-15, 13-9 against the spread. For as much as a disaster as the Pelicans season has been, it's actually been profitable to bet the Pelicans when Herb Jones plays. So he's listed as questionable, and specifically look at the defensive efficiency. They're actually an average to slightly below average defense when Herb Jones plays. When he doesn't play, they're practical joke bad. So this is just the defensive anchor of the team, and they just can't generate stops at all without him. So he's listed as questionable. In the 15 games they've played since he got re-injured, because he was injured, then he came back. In the 15 games they've played since he got re-injured, they're 2-13 straight up, 4-11 against the spread, with a defensive efficiency rating of 121. So Detroit's offense has been unreliable. Man, I watched them play. Who was that against? Was that against the Suns? I forget. I live bet the Pistons. I forget who it was against. I live bet the Pistons. Cade Cunningham. I bet you people in the comments know what game I'm talking about. Cade Cunningham was like 2 for 15 from the floor. It was the most infuriating game to watch. The offense was so bad, but they won. The Pistons offense has been a little shaky, but one aspect of the Pistons I do trust. Oh, I actually didn't even realize I had a graphic that shows it. So it was, what game did I live bet the Pistons? Might have been the Suns game. But you can see in their last 4 games, a 105.4 offensive rating. So the Pistons' offense has been a little shaky, but I trust the defense. They've actually been the best defense in the NBA in the last 10 games, and I trust the Pistons to play good defense here. They should also absolutely dominate the glass. Derek Queen plays the 5 for New Orleans mostly. He's a rookie against Duren and Isaiah Stewart. That's just a mismatch there. So, yeah, I think the Pistons will play a great defensive game. I think they control the boards on both sides. I think the Pistons win comfortably. Like I said, I make the game 10 to 10.5. So at 9.5, it's Detroit. I would love to get ideal scenario. Herb Jones is ruled in. The market overreacts to it, and I get Detroit to like -7.5. That would be lovely. All right, Hawks Grizzlies. Okay. Hawks Grizzlies. I think 2.5's a little low for Memphis. This is a tough game, though. So there's no Porzingis or Shea for the Hawks. I think the first question we got to ask for Atlanta, look at this graphic. It's a little small. Let me blow it up so you guys can see it. Look at the offensive rating for the Hawks. 29th in the last 10 games. What the hell happened to the Hawks offense? That was supposed to be the aspect of this team we could trust. Usually it's the Hawks defense that we have questions about. Now, finally, the Hawks start playing some defense, and Jalen Johnson kind of emerges as the face of the franchise. They move on from Trae Young. All of a sudden, the Hawks are showing signs of life on the defensive side of the ball, and now they can't score points. Their offense is just falling off a cliff here. Dyson Daniels is having serious problems hitting shots. Dyson Daniels, who, by the way, is their starting point guard. He hasn't hit a 3-point shot since December 14th. December 14th. It's over a month ago. It's like 5-6 weeks ago. Their starting point guard hasn't hit a 3-point shot since December 14th. I believe he's missed 22 in a row. This is concerning for the Hawks. So, in late game situations when a basketball team will sub out every possession in the last minute, like free throw, they'll put like a couple defensive guys on the floor, and then it's a free throw, and then they'll bring in their offensive, like a couple shooters. Basketball teams do that at the end of the game. Well, the Hawks, they took Dyson Daniels out of the game and put in Corey Kispert. And you might think, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Man, that's their starting point guard. You can't be taking out your starting point guard. That things aren't going well. So this Hawks offense, I don't know what's going on. I can't really trust it right now. They've got an offensive rating of 107.8 in their last 10 games. And if you look at the defenses, yeah, they played Toronto twice. That's a tough defense. They played Golden State. They play some defense. Portland's okay. Boston's a good defense. They also played the Knicks, the Pelicans, the Nuggets, the Lakers, the Bucks. Like, there's also a lot of bad teams. This Hawks offense has fallen off a cliff. Now, when it comes to Memphis, I really don't. Ja Morant's going to play. I think we all assume that Memphis is better when he plays, even though the numbers don't really show that. There could be some jet lag. I was trying to figure out why this is only 2.5. Could be some jet lag for Memphis. They're coming back from Europe, right? They just played back-to-back games in Berlin and then London, but they had 2 days off, so I don't know if there's anything there. I'm just spitballing here. I was trying to figure out why this number's only 2.5, because I feel like Memphis is the better team and they're at home. I guess you could say turnovers. One thing the Hawks have done a good job of is stripping the basketball and protecting the basketball, and Memphis has turnover problems. So I guess you could say there's that. Personally, I think 2.5 is a bit too low. If there's no Porzingis, remember, if we can't trust Atlanta's offense to score, and based on what we're seeing, we can't right now. If there's no Porzingis, we're relying on the Hawks defense. They don't have a true rim protector. When Ja Morant's on the floor, between him and Jaren Jackson Jr., they attack the basket a lot. And I just don't think there's anybody in the Hawks roster that can stop Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. from getting to the rim and scoring. So I think 2.5 is too low. I probably think it'd probably make it 3.5, but nah, not overly interested in this one. I'll put Memphis -2.5 up. Someone goes, Dyson is betting his under on threes. No, man, they showed him. There were a clip on Instagram when he was shooting air balls, shooting in like warm-ups. He was shooting air balls. All right. Oh, I actually didn't look at this one. I had to set up for the live show, so I'll put up a poll for Thunder Milwaukee. There's 2 games left that I didn't look at. The Sacramento and Toronto both played tonight. That's the last game that I don't have queued up. What was the injury report here for Oklahoma City? Jalen Williams, Jalen Williams is questionable. Jayl Williams is out. Hartenstein's still out. Caruso's out. Miles Turner questionable. Kevin Porter Jr. questionable for the Bucks. Yeah, I didn't look at this one. I didn't look at the last 2. So, all right, everyone, thanks for watching. As always, yeah, see you tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. Have a good one, guys. Talk to you later.